Y'all could have
So
said
what?
that. Truth be told, y'all could have took that shit to the recording.
We definitely could have, but
Truth be told,
like
what's
maybe we'll
happening, y'all?
find somebody else to come in on this argument, you know. Or when Carlton want to bust the Bible open for real, we can really talk about it. But anyway, we live. We
Bust it
talking
open,
about
bust it open.
Donald Trump busting it open, the deportation, and getting them on up out of here.
He said, "Y'all motherfuckers got to go." Damn. Wow.
I support that message. I ain't
Hey,
even gonna lie.
hey, I'm thinking like shit. It's all these fucking illegals here. Hey, and I said that. Damn, you got two dudes here, two people here. But I was mentioning that or whatever to somebody. They was saying, well, they hear whatever's a movie. I'm like, well, shit, they illegal. Like they don't pay taxes or nothing. And somebody was like, oh, how you know they don't pay taxes? Like these motherfuckers ain't got no social security cards, ain't got no license. They legal. Come over here with nothing, but get everything. And that was through
Well,
the
first,
Biden administration.
for me, it don't even matter about the ones right now that are not paying taxes or paying taxes. My issue are the ones who are criminals, first off, committing crimes. And I ain't talking about petty crimes like, oh, you stole something from Walmart. Those, I'm talking about the ones who are SAing people, unaliving people, S Sir 13, the Venezuela gangs, all them motherfuckers need to get on up out of here. And I don't care how nobody feel about that. Every single one of them need to get on up out of here. Then when we deal with the other criminals, because once you come here illegal, you are a criminal. No matter if nobody is paying attention to the words in between the words, but you are a criminal if you come into the United States illegally. So they are still on the list also. I feel bad for people who have come here, built something, possibly got a house or two, a business, and now your ass is gone.
The law is the law.
There's so many people who go through the process legally. So many people who study for that test that I know personally who study for this test and all of that to have somebody else come over here and jump ahead of them in the line. If you was in the grocery store and you was about to pay for your groceries and then somebody got in front of you, you're gonna be a mad motherfucker. And then they turn around and have that pistol, like, and nigga, what you gonna say about it? You gonna fight them with that pistol, or you gonna let them just go ahead and pay for their groceries, nigga? And most of the time, people gonna let them pay for them groceries. But I feel like that's the same way of getting jumped ahead in the line on you studying, you here, you doing your 5 to 7 years, get your green card, studying for your citizenship test, and then another motherfucker get all the food stamps or whatever that you could have been getting. Your family could have been getting those food stamps, but it's given away to somebody else. Imagine the black community being here suffering for a very, very long time. And then
Imagine
you
that.
have somebody jumping in front of them being taken care of before them. We've been asking for reparations for so long. And guess what? All the reparation money just went to in the last 4 years. They could have gave us reparations. Thinking about it, where'd it go? It went in the trash. Why? Because now they're getting deported. So the argument is going to be you can't say what y'all couldn't have done for us. And you got certain mayors, like in Chicago, motherfuckers fighting for that. That's why he's not getting elected again.
Yo, I can add this though. I don't like the racism of when they go around for U.S. citizens like the Navajo and some of the other Native people, and they get rounded up, and then they get questioned about their status, and yet they're American citizens, or the Puerto Ricans that U.S. veterans that get rounded up, or even Mexican Americans, you get questioned for your status when you're a U.S. citizen, and yet your documentation isn't right. I think that's the racist, ignorant people. If it can happen to them, it can happen to any person, brown, black, anything like that. You get mixed up, wrong place, wrong time. It can happen. It does happen. They do this on purpose because the majority of these ICE agents, we have to admit, are white. And they're ignorant as fuck. They don't care. They just want to get brown people off or black people off this planet. Why? Because their numbers are low at the end of the day. They make it illegal because they're scared of people growing in this country, other people that they have stepped over there. You got to understand these businesses have went over there to these different countries, took out the resources, United States in particular, made these countries destitute through the CIA, and then they leave these countries shitted on. And then now when they was coming back to get some of the resources and stuff, it's a whole nother thing. So you got to know the history of this. Didn't just happen recently. This been happening for the past, I say, at least 40, 50 years since the Contra Wars. All of this stuff, just whatever you sow, it comes back to you. That's why we got to do good in whatever we do and not bad. I
And
feel
that's
like
another question at itself right there. Why are these major companies are going to? I mean, yeah, major companies are going to different countries besides the U.S. Leaving the U.S. and going to these different countries. Why is that? It's
Well,
crazy.
why is let's just say this. That's what I've been saying lately. Let's say I'm in Hallville, right? Let's say I'm in Hallville. I just so happen to be in Hallville. This is speaking of what Carlton just said. They do a bust in Hallville. They got a federal indictment where they got a lot of people's names on these paperworks. Let's say a 50-person indictment, drug indictment.
Mm.
We're gonna call it Hallville Syndicate.
Wow, really,
Okay.
wow, that's
really?
crazy.
Because what I'm saying, because this is a real thing.
I know. I
Hallville
didn't think you
Syndicate,
were bring a real
Hallville
scenario.
Syndicate is
Jump
Yeah, I
Out
didn't think you
Boys.
bring
a
a
real
real
gang.
scenario.
Talk about the Jump Out Boys.
So if they have warrants and federal indictments on Hallville Syndicate, and I just so happen to be in Hallville that day, they jumping out, locking up everybody, and I might even look like a nigga because I might be on Arnolda block.
Hmm.
They might put me in handcuffs. But then they gonna find out, okay, you Andre, we not looking for you unless I'm inside that house. Or like they said, okay, let's say they ain't got no warrant for me, but I got some dope in my pocket or something. Okay, so then I catch a charge like that. So just like they might not be looking for particular illegal immigrants at that particular time, but if we go in that house and you are illegal, then you coming with us. But if you straight, we gonna let you go. I mean, sometimes you gotta round up the wheat and the tear and find out who the fuck is coming with you and who ain't coming with you. So me, if I was a legal and a legal migrant and all this shit was going on, I myself would not be scared at all. Cause you might round me up, but I got my paperwork to say I'm a citizen or I got a green card. So guess what they gonna do to me? They're gonna let me go.
But you shouldn't even have to go through that because if you
You
already
got to
told
go
them,
through it because they shouldn't even be here illegally.
No, I'm
So
talking
you
about
should
for the
you
legal.
either
I'm
shouldn't have
talking
to
about
go through
people.
that. So who fault is it that you got to go through that? Is it the government fault or the people who coming over here illegally?
The government's fault that rounds you up after you say I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not a Mexican. Don't do me like
Why
this.
are you? Why this the chicken or the egg conversation right here? Why are
I'm
we
telling
rounding
you,
people? I know, but why are we rounding people up in the first place?
It's
but the
because of the
people are talking
illegals.
English. This is
It's the
my thing.
illegals that's making it bad for the people that got their green cards. It's the illegals, the people that's coming over
But
here, the
what I'm trying to
criminals.
say is that people who are U.S. citizens shouldn't even have to be detained. Once they be like, "Look, I'm a U.S. citizen. I speak English. Leave me the
Okay, and
fuck
then
alone."
once you can prove it, guess what
So,
happens then?
but you think about it, a person that's not a U.S. citizen can say, "I'm a U.S. citizen." So why would you trust them?
Yeah, but
Then
being
you need
detained
Once
on
you
proof.
prove,
mass.
You need proof.
once they prove who they are, guess what happens to those U.S. citizens who get detained? What
They're supposed
happens?
to let them free, but how long do they keep them there? How
It
long do
don't
they keep
matter,
them
but
there?
you go free once you prove
Well, if
it.
you got to go to work and you tripping, and yeah, that's
Hey,
what you
then
got to
that's
start
you
thinking.
can just explain it to your job.
But you
I
think
got
about it,
detained by ICE.
that's just like somebody getting arrested and they got to go to work. It's
Or
the
you
same
get pulled
scenario.
over. You
Yeah,
get pulled over
it's the same
because you were
scenario.
speeding.
And that's just anybody though. That's not just immigrants.
All you
That's
gotta
what I'm
do is
saying.
prove who you are.
U.S. shouldn't have to go through that.
But all you gotta
Like
do is
it
prove
should
who
be
you
like,
are.
okay, for example, perfect example. When I was in Texas coming from Arizona, right? And the border patrol stopped the bus. They was like simply, "Are you U.S. citizen? Yes. You got your passport? Yes." Boom. I showed no, I have my driver's license. Boom. Yes. But what is happening to Native Americans, particularly from Arizona, my state, is that they could show them their driver's license and their certificate,
Nigga, you from Indiana.
but ICE is not going for that.
You keep on
But
talking about
I
your
have an
state.
Arizona birth certificate, so shut up.
Bro, you from here.
It is my state.
You from here, man.
Anyway,
So you're
the
an
biggest thing
Arizonian,
is
but you've
this.
been living in Indiana.
Your whole life.
So
Yeah, I got family DNA that ties me back to that place. So anyway, back to the goddamn story. What I'm trying to say is that after they show them their documents, they still get detained. That's not fucking
You're
right.
detained until they can prove who you say you are. They got such thing as fake documentations, don't they? Unless I'm tripping.
But nah, not everybody is running around with a certificate of Indian blood. Not everybody's running around with that. You
Bro,
can't even
it
get
don't
that
matter
unless what you
about
call it.
any of that. And they ain't even looking for Native Americans.
They've been rounding them up. It's on NBC News. How can you tell me?
If they rounding them up, that's because it's some Mexicans or some Hondurans or somebody else in those communities also.
No, they're not. These people have
Come on,
told them,
man.
look, I'm Native American. In particular,
So
this person is
are they going to the reservations and doing it? Or they
no, these
just
people live off the reservation. They get stopped.
bro,
They say,
I ain't
hey, I'm
seen
Native
nothing that
American.
they rounded up no Native Americans on anything
They
I've been
have. Do
watching.
you
And my
listen? I'm
phone
about
about
to
to
show you
die. I
this
need to get
article.
my charger. But I've watched a lot of the news I watch way
Look,
more
Trump
news than y'all
immigration
do.
snags U.S. citizens, including Native Americans, raising racial profiling. And it says
Bro,
American citizens, including Native American nations, have pulled in the vast immigration operation by President Donald Trump in
my
connection
phone
with
about
the.
to die, but you're not even proving your point right now on what you said. But
I
let me get
am.
my
I'm trying to
charger.
tell you. Listen. The Navajo Nation office was flooded with calls from members living off reservations, many reporting question about their identity by ICE officers. You see what I'm
But
saying?
that just a question.
Questioning a number of
Are they
Navajo,
are they being deported?
but they're being detained. Why should they
Are
have to
they
be detained?
okay? But is detained deported?
Some or they're in the process, meaning that, yes. But why do you have to go there after you show who you are and they're not accepting your
Because
paperwork?
there's fake documentation all the
But that's
time.
not. But no, if I show you this, if I show you my driver's license, I show you my certificate, if Indian blood or whatever, you should leave me the fuck alone because I proved who I am. That's the racism. White people don't have to go through this shit. but any brown or black person does, and you're supporting this shit, that's some real Uncle Tom shit. I would never support no shit like that at all, because what's done to one brown person could be done to a black person, what could be done to everybody. So oppression to one person is oppression to everybody. They don't just stop at one, they just using that as a beginning.
Black people been dealing with this, been dealing with that way before the Hispanics and everything else. We've been dealing with that. The same shit since slavery. Don't make it no better, but yeah, we've been dealing with it though. Shit's crazy. You froze. Andre left. So truth be told, audience, we have audience out there. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Everybody, you living good, living safe, making it through this crazy ass winter and causing them to win outs as usual. Hello.
I'm surprised my motherfucking phone didn't die. I had to cut the screen off so I could run and get my charger.
Yeah, his
So
did. He was talking.
Tripping, man.
Shit just went out.
He tripping. There's
I'm
no
back.
such
I'm
thing
not
as
tripping. That's a real article.
ain't no
There's
such thing
several
as
articles.
no ICE agents are running up on Native Americans.
They are running up on Native Americans.
And then
You're just in denial. Just because you don't live
but
out
I'm not
west
finished.
doesn't mean it's not happening.
I'm not finished though. And they're not putting them and rounding them up, getting ready to deport them. Yes, you gotta prove who you are if you're a citizen or not.
They are detaining them, meaning they take them to those places and they have to prove who they are.
Do you know that you can get detained on the side of the road when you get pulled over by the police, right?
That's not the same as facing
they're
deportation.
not just grabbing up random people walking down the street and making them prove that they are legal or not. That is not how they're operating.
We're talking about ICE police. Let's get it.
That is illegal. They're not just grabbing random people off the street.
They did grab. This ain't the first. There was over 13 accounts.
Bro, they are not
doing this in the Southwest.
They are not.
ICE police are doing this. It's
bro,
been
they are not
the Mescaleros. It's been reported by the youth.
Racially
it's been reported by the Navajo,
people.
several Navajo. No,
that
this
is not what's going on right now. You know how they're doing it right now? They're going after people who already have ICE detainers on them.
No,
so if a motherfucker if somebody who got a Navajo, whatever, if they got an ICE detainer on them, then yeah, okay.
No, they're not doing it. No, you're just thinking it's one way. It's any brown people. There was a U.S. Puerto Rican citizen.
Bro, they are not
detained by them. Man, it's in the news. It's
there. But detaining somebody for questioning is different.
Right. Why should I have to do that? I'm a U.S.
but
citizen.
But detaining somebody is different
I'm cool.
than locking somebody up. Detaining somebody.
Why
if you let's say this, if you was in a house full of motherfuckers who was illegal, and I grabbed the whole house, and you was detained because you was chilling with them motherfuckers. This going back to Harville Syndicate. If I was in the house with they had a search warrant for, and they had body warrants for people in their house, and I was there when they bust that motherfucker open, and they detained me, I can say all I want. Like, why you detaining me? My name ain't on the warrant. I ain't woo woo woo. I'm still detained. It don't even matter until they find out who was who and what is what. It is not illegal.
It is. So once you prove that, hey, this is who I am. I'm not what.
Well, and guess what happened when they proved who they was? Did they get shipped to Nicaragua or something, or did they get released?
They're released, but the whole thing is
that
that. It shouldn't even have to go down like that. And
Nobody should have to get detained, but black people been getting stopped and frisked for a long time in New York City and places like that. You
everybody
wasn't
of
saying
color
shit.
has
You
been
wasn't saying shit
stopped
about
and
that
frisked.
then.
Everybody's been stopped and frisked for a long time.
But
That's what
was
I'm
you
trying to
saying
tell
something
you.
about? But was you saying something about that then?
Man,
Was
what I'm
the
trying to say
world?
is the
Did
people
the
of
world?
color,
Did
no
the
matter
did
what,
the did
you don't
the
see it like I see it.
did
The
the
people of
majority of
color,
Americans even give a fuck when people was arguing about stop and frisk? No. What is stop and frisk? A detainment. Somebody that is a law enforcement officer like yourself is somebody who would back a thing called stop and frisk or any of that kind of shit until it seems like, okay, now it's happening to somebody else. Now it's an injustice.
it's injustice for all because eventually it'll come down to us. And
But it should have
eventually
been,
ICE, and
but it
then
should have been
because
an
one
adjustment
thing leads to
and
another to
unjust.
the point where they dissolve it, so you to getting your ass back on that
It
boat to
should have
Nigeria or
been
Ghana. So
unjust
no.
a long time ago. It should have been unjust. But now we're talking about legal people
Being
and illegal
harassed.
people.
Right, and you get
And
rounded
we're
up just
talking
because you
about
look like them. It's ignorant
violent.
and racist
We're talking
for
about
my part.
violent people. Where was you at when you got round up anyway? Was you just walking down the street, or was you somewhere you wasn't supposed to be?
No, they
They
just
just
go up
busted
to
us,
no, the ICE agents are they go wherever they want to go. It
bro.
don't
They are
matter.
not
It don't matter
doing
if
that.
you mind your own business. It
They
don't
are
matter.
not
If
doing.
you say
They are not doing that.
listen, well, all I'm trying to tell you is that listen, they are doing this, it's
They are
documented.
not
Believe it
doing
or
that,
not,
and it's
it
not
happens to these
documented.
people. And
They
you
are not
sound
just
like
walking
you're
up to
in
random
denial.
people
Why
and
are you in
saying,
denial of
"Hey."
something? It's
They
national
not
news.
walking up to random people saying, "Hey, you look like you don't belong here."
No, if most ICE agents are white people, and white people are very
They
ignorant.
are
If they
still
see it
not
wrong,
walking. They are still not walking up to random people saying you don't look like you belong here.
yes, they do. If they
No,
think
they're
you're
not.
illegal, they coming for you. How you
That
know
is
they
not.
process?
That is
How you
not
know they
how it
process? Do
works.
you know they process?
They
They getting
already
any
know.
brown person out there.
Who they are coming for.
Yeah,
They
but
they are not just walking up to random people
if little
shaking them
Yazzie
down,
is over there with
bro. They
Bigay
are not
and he's
walking
hanging
up
out
to
with El
random people.
Chapo and
They are not
Jose
walking up to
and
random
they what you
people
call
and
it?
shaking them down. I'm not
You
gonna
know,
go with you on
this
that.
was off the
You
res though.
spread you
This stuff
spreading
happened off the
disinformation.
reservation. It did not
They
happen on the
already know.
res.
They already know who they looking for when they're pulling up on these people right now. They know who they looking for. They
No,
have
they
a
don't.
targeted list. They do.
They have a targeted list, but little Yazzie and Bengay over there.
They know some of these people have ICE monitors on their ankle because they have already been caught and released back into society, pending whatever the fuck was supposed to happen to them. So a lot of these people who they are targeting, they already know who they're looking for. So they're not walking up on random people like, "Oh, you look like a Mexican. Let me get you up out of here." That is not what's going on.
I bet some of the racist ICE ass are doing that shit.
They not though.
They would and they could.
I mean,
And you
they
know they
could, but
do.
that's not what the mission is right now. They already know who they attack, who they coming after.
But if you there wrong place or in the
Bro,
area and they
I'm
decide to
telling
scoop
you,
you up,
you are just going off of what you're hearing. I'm watching and listening to everything from the orders all the way to seeing what the fuck is cracking like. I spend more time watching this shit than anybody that I know.
I just
So,
saw 3
so
different
I know
articles.
they got a list of
They're
people that they
saying
coming
though
after.
in one of the articles that the certificate Indian blood and the driver license does not prove that you have U.S. citizenship. That's my biggest thing.
But
Like
who is
you got to
saying
give
that?
extra stuff
But who
to
is
do
saying
that.
that? But who is saying that?
The
Where are you
article
getting
is
this
saying that.
information? What
I'm about
article?
to pull that one up. This
What's
it's
the
not an
source?
NBC. It's not on NBC. Hold on, it's the other one. Give me 1 second.
But what's the source?
I think it's CNN. Yeah.
Because spreading disinformation is not cool.
This is really happening to indigenous people. It's not what do you call it? And they wouldn't even, what do you call it?
They are not, and even if 1 or 2 people get caught up, 12
It's
out of
not.
how
It's
many
been
million?
every nation that's in the Southwest. The Ute, it happened to the Ute. It happened to the Navajo. It happens to the less Mescalero Apache people.
Where was they? Where were they at? Walking down the street, or did they come on a reservation and raid it?
It was a res, man. It's happening when you're off the res. They could
So
do
where
stuff
were
like
they at? What were they doing?
I don't know what they were doing.
Okay, so you don't know who they was with or whatever. They had already said if you with somebody that's illegal, you can mess around. If you are not a criminal
Hold
they
on, hold on.
looking for, you're gonna get ran up too.
All right, here goes right here. It says the woman says that she was at her work
What's
site.
the source, bro?
It's CNN.
CNN, what's the name of the article?
It's called Navajo Leaders. Navajo leaders raise alarm over reports of indigenous people being questioned and detained during immigration sweeps.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
It says at least 15 individuals in Arizona and New Mexico have reported being stopped at their home and workplaces and questioned or detained by federal law enforcement and asked to produce proof of citizenship during immigration raids since Wednesday, or according to Navajo Nation officials.
I think Lady C trying to come in.
So immigration raids, right? So we got 2 states. What are the 2 states you said?
Arizona and New Mexico.
So we took 15 divided by 2. We're gonna just break it evenly between 2 whole.
This is what's
states.
reported.
Hold
Don't minimize
but
the
no,
situation.
but hold on.
This is what's
2,
reported, what's known.
I know, but 2 states, 7 people, 7.5 people between 2 states out of millions of people. And you're
But
making it seem like they're targeting indigenous people.
they are.
They're
15
not.
people, they are. Because
15
Navajo
people between
have
2
the same,
states.
but they have the same facial
And where were
structure
they at?
as, what
They
do you
were
call it?
targeted during, you said during what?
They were at home.
Raids. They were
Yeah,
targeted
no.
during raids.
They were stopped at their homes and workplaces. So
During
what's
what?
that sound like? Their
During
homes
what?
and workplaces.
During what though?
Welcome, Lady T.
They said they're at their homes and workplaces.
I
Hey
know,
y'all.
but during, you know what I'm saying? During, what were they doing when they got stopped? They were in the midst of raiding something.
Right.
So if you
That
were
means
somewhere,
that means
so
you
if
could
you
be
were,
going
so
home.
if you were somewhere and you got your house raided, let's say this: there was a dude. There were 2 houses. They
But
raided
why
the
should I have
wrong.
to be
Hold
harassed
on,
by
they
these white
raided the
individuals
wrong house
who are
first.
racist? I'm at my home.
They raided the
Or
wrong
my
house
workplace
first,
making home.
and then
They said they're being stopped.
the house that was 2 doors down had 50 illegal immigrants inside hiding.
Okay, ain't shit like
So
that
the
popping
first
off
house
over
that they
here.
raided, yes, that was the wrong house. But then got to the real shit, and it was 50 illegal immigrants inside their house.
But no, you have to have a warrant, a right to seize my house from probable cause, because that goes against the First Amendment or the right to seizure.
Well, the
They don't
probable
have no
cause
probable
was for the
cause.
house with the 50 people in there.
Yeah, but that
It
don't
was
have
just the
nothing to
wrong.
do with.
They ran up on the wrong
And
house.
with me making
So if I ran up to your job that had 15 illegal immigrants that were
that
working there,
still don't have shit to do
I
with me,
know it
bro.
might not have nothing to do
And
with
I'm a
you, but I
U.S.
need
citizen.
to identify everybody who was here.
Hey, bro, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a Navajo. I'm a first.
I
I've been
can
here
look at you
longer
and
than
say,
your white
nah.
ass.
You can tell me you a Black American all day, and your ass
I've been
fuck
here
around and
longer.
be a,
I
and
tell
you
I've
can
been here
fuck around
longer
and be a
before 10
Haitian.
times.
You can fuck
Yeah,
around and
the
be a
whole thing
Haitian, and we
is
don't know it.
Yes.
but
You
the
can fuck
difference
around
is
and be
that
a
they got
Haitian, and we don't
paperwork.
even know it though.
But you got paperwork that backs up what I'm saying.
Well, okay, but you're detained until we can find out who you are. Ain't that how that work? Even if it was the regular police,
Yeah, but once they show them, they should have let them go because if you're
and they
trying to
let
get
them go, and they let them go. Did they get put on the plane?
no, because their homeland
Okay,
is here. Where
then.
they gonna ship them to?
Okay,
But
then.
right
So
back to the
they was
Navajos. The
detained
only place that
until
they
they
could
could
send
find
them
out
would be
who
to
they
their
was.
reservation.
And once they found out who they was released.
Yeah, one person said the incident was a wrong place, wrong time situation, and the
Okay,
tribal members present their tribal ID
come
was
on.
present in custody, but not was intended for the intended target. So wrong
And they
place,
was
wrong time.
released. Wrong place, wrong time. You shouldn't have been there.
But at the same time,
Ain't
this
no
ain't shit
but
ain't
to
happened.
it.
But
You
if
were
that's the case,
detained.
then
You were
I want them.
detained. You were detained
But you know,
until
it's
we could
funny
find out
how
who you are.
Uh,
That's how they do black people all the time. Am I right or am I wrong? That's how they do black people all the time. Sometimes people know their rights. Sometimes people don't know their rights. You're a passenger on the side of a car and somebody else get pulled over. You shouldn't have to identify who the fuck you are because they didn't pull you over. But if you don't know your rights, guess what you're going to do? Pull out your ID and give it to them. Who we got? Somebody that's Lady T. Am I
yeah, lady,
frozen?
see. Yeah, she down there. I pulled her up. She
One of them
said hi,
Lady T.
y'all, but y'all was
Yeah, I
talking.
heard her say hey, but we was deep in the conversation.
I know.
Yeah,
My
y'all
whole
sure
thing is
was. I was gonna let y'all finish that because I
because
know how
if
it gets.
you because if you detained by the police, right? You get pulled over by the police. You on the passenger side though. They can try to ask you for your ID. You don't have to identify yourself though. If you know
Yeah,
your rights.
I've heard that. I've heard that they just like about the searching the car thing. If you
Yeah.
got license and stuff. Yeah.
There's a lot of things if you know your rights, but still, if you driving or if you are suspected of a crime, they can detain you until they figure out who the fuck you are. In certain circumstances, they can.
well, I would love
So
to
if
see them
they
go to this
so
white neighborhoods and get them white
if they
motherfuckers.
detain 7 people in Nevada or wherever the fuck that was, out of all the people who lived there, that just so happened to be uh natives, but none of them made it on the plane that sent them to Nicaragua or some shit like that
They
or
can't send nowhere but to
Honduras.
their reses.
Well, I'm
That's what
saying
it
so
is.
if they didn't get sent away, if they were only detained till they found out who they was, it's no problem then.
But for this to be okay, it's not because what I see is what they do to one brown person. Eventually, they're gonna get to us, and they're not checking these white motherfuckers who are
Well,
really bigger
I can tell
things.
you
That's
what, in the moment that they said we about to crack down on all the illegal Haitians, right? And they run up on Andre because my name is French. Guess what I'm gonna do?
you're gonna
I'm
have
gonna
your birth
pull out my smart
certificate,
ID.
passport.
I'm gonna pull out my smart ID that I got in my wallet, scan the back of that motherfucker, show you where I live at, and then I'm gonna be okay that they detain me and let me the fuck go. My only problem is gonna be when they put me on the plane and send me to Port-au-Prince, and I know I ain't from there.
And you don't. Hey, listen. And this is a variable. You don't think there's some assholes that's having a bad day, and if they got to meet a
Okay,
quota
and
and they lose
it's
your
gonna be
shit,
it's
they
gonna
could
be
do
many
that. Then
ways.
you're dealing
It's
with the
gonna be
federal
many
government.
ways. It's gonna be many ways that I can prove who I am, bro.
But if they were having a bad day and they just wanted to delete you from the system, you don't think they have the power and the means to get rid of you?
But how? real is that a
That's
scenario
very real. You know
versus
how many
your
times people have been
versus
sitting in
versus
prisons.
versus your imagination and making up shit right
I'm
now.
not getting the best of you. What I'm saying is, if there's a quota
I
to
didn't
be
say
met,
you was getting the
some
best of
paper.
me because you're not. I don't even know what you just said there. Why you said that? The issue is you're imagining shit and trying to
No,
give
I'm not
what
imagining nothing. What I'm
you're
saying is,
giving.
if
What
they
if
want it, they could do
scenarios?
it.
You're giving what if scenarios. Well, we're talking about real life right now.
Okay, my biggest thing is this: they're only going after brown people, and they
They're not
doing
only
it out
going
of.
after brown people because they just
Man,
sent
do you
some.
hear any?
They
Have you heard
just
about
sent.
any
They
Russian?
just sent 30 to 40 Chinese motherfuckers back.
That's still people of color. How many Russians? How many Czechs have they sent?
A
How many
Chinese person
Polish,
is not
German?
a person of color.
Yes, they
They
consider
still
them
ain't.
a minority. They do consider Asians people
They
of
are not
minority too.
one of us. You said black and brown people.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that they're
Do
still
they
under that
consider
minority,
themselves one of us? No, they don't.
regardless. But anyway, back to what I'm saying
So
is you
you saying
don't
they?
hear.
So do you
I,
think they? Do you think they have not rounded up any Italians and sent them back?
nope, they haven't reported it.
What if I can prove it to you that they have? I'm telling you that I watch this all day, every day,
Not in the big droves. They're not so quick to do them.
bro. They
Like
are
the big
rounding up
numbers.
everybody that's illegal, bro.
All right,
If you're
let's see.
illegal, it don't matter what country you came from. It don't matter if your ass came
How
from the
many Russians have
Ukraine.
they rounded up?
How many Russians are here illegally?
We don't know.
So you can't say you know how many they done sent back either,
But with them, they're gonna get their paperwork together.
bro.
But
If
but
they
my
have the
biggest
Everything,
thing is
paperwork,
this though.
everything that you say is based on how you feel. You ain't got no facts
No,
on nothing.
what I'm saying, my biggest thing is we don't know how many there are here illegally, but they're here, like everybody else. But the biggest thing is
And
this: if
if
you,
they are here and they are criminals, it don't matter what color they are. They getting the fuck up out of here.
let's hope so. If they
Ain't
get
no
them all,
hope at all. Ain't no
they
hope
haven't
at
got
all.
it. All of
Everybody's
them,
targeted.
they haven't got all of them.
Everybody's targeted. It don't matter what color they are, bro, what race they are, bro. I've been seeing it. They've been rounding up everybody who was on the list. If ICE got you on a detainer and because they let you out of the prison, but you are a criminal, if you came from Russia, China, it don't matter, bro. You out of here. They are the first ones that are getting round up. The ones that you said was the red mans from the native, guess why they was let loose? Because they are not criminals and they are not the people that they're looking for. Wrong place, wrong time, possibly. Ain't that what you said?
Yeah, but not everybody. Some people, but that Puerto Rican dude, that was fucked up because he said, I'm a U.S. veteran. Come on now. But it
I
was
know,
just,
but did he get deported?
it's not the fact. It's not that. What it is
But
though,
did
to
he
me,
get deported?
no, but he could have got
Okay,
deported.
then. He couldn't have got deported because he proved that he was a U.S. citizen.
But that's the thing. You shouldn't even.
He just seeing shit from the way he want to see that shit. Period, point
yeah,
blank.
yeah, he just talking
He
without
trying to
bringing
find
proof.
rational. That's all I like. What's your source to say they were just rounding up Native Americans and talking about 7 people? Well, it don't even. It could have been 10 people in one state and 4 people in another, but none of them got deported. Black people been getting detained until they can find out who they are for a very long time around this motherfucker.
A long
I'm gonna,
ass time.
I'm gonna detain you. I'm gonna put you in the handcuffs till we can figure out who you are.
Sit your ass right here on this curve.
On the curb.
On the curve. Ass hurting like a motherfucker.
Nobody had a problem with it. They was watching the shit broadcast on Cops, Fox 59, every motherfucking Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't know what day it came on, but nobody had a problem with that shit then. It was entertainment. You
Yeah.
were innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
While you
Motherfucker
were being
handcuffed me, set me on the
detained.
curve for nothing. And told a whole bunch of stories and lies and shit that didn't make no motherfucking sense, and then let me and my homeboy go. That's some bullshit.
I've been detained before by the police several different occasions. I was let go each time, but it was
For
just the simple
stupid
fact
shit.
I had to go through. I
But
didn't appreciate
every
that.
time that you was detained, it was because you did some shit you wasn't supposed to be doing.
Nope.
Are we just talking about big booty bitches?
No,
No,
we
we
talking
talking
about
about
being
shit he
defense.
could have avoided while he
Uh,
was being
No, not
detained.
necessarily. No, I didn't. But each time I
Yeah,
was
you
let
could have.
go. No,
You
listen,
could
I
have
didn't live a
avoided it. You
reckless
not
or
a criminal.
ratchet life.
Ain't nothing about you criminal. When you was a teenager, you ain't hang with no thug niggas. I used to
Right,
get
but
pulled
I
over
just don't
just
appreciate
because.
them doing it. I
I
just
used to
know that
get
I
pulled
don't
over just
appreciate
because,
them.
and then put on the curb when it's cold outside and it's snow, and the motherfucker telling me to sit in the snow, knowing they ain't got nothing
Okay,
on
but
me.
the same thing is I didn't appreciate being set on the curb, them treating me like we had pounds and pounds of
then put
drugs,
them
and
damn
they
tight
having
ass
dogs.
handcuffs, metal ass
But if
handcuffs. Them
but if
motherfuckers
you
hurt.
did some silly shit and you deserve to be set down, and you deserve to be set down. I have
The
been
fuck
set
I
down and
didn't.
I didn't do
I was
nothing.
minding my own business. We didn't have no drugs.
I
We
had
didn't
to.
say nothing disrespectful. We was respectful of the police. None of that. They just wanted to make example out of
So give
a
me
person of
what
color.
happened. Why did they pull you over then?
My friend didn't stop at the stop sign. Instead of giving him an infraction, they did us all like that. I could have had a lawsuit. I didn't even know
So
that. It was like
being
we
pulled out
searched
of
the
a
car. It
car,
was like there's nothing in it. There
being
was
pulled out
nothing.
of
We
a
didn't.
car, being pulled out of a car because you ran a stop sign is illogical. Unless you gave them a reason. You said,
I
yeah,
didn't
you can
give
search
them
the
the
car.
reason. It's just
Did y'all
being
tell them
black
they
and
can
being
search the car?
brown in America. You
But
got to understand.
did you tell
I
them they can search the car? Yes or no?
I think he did. It was his car, my car.
Okay, then. So if he said you can search the car, you gonna be in handcuffs and on the motherfucking side of the road.
Actually, they didn't put us in handcuffs because we didn't commit no crime yet. They were just searching just to be searching. I didn't know my rights. So it was only what 19. It wasn't even
But
20.
it doesn't matter if you say you can search the car. They ain't gonna
Right. So
let you stay in the car when they searching it.
right. You should
So
have said
y'all
no.
decided y'all wanted to be on the side of the road.
We didn't decide nothing. We just thought that's what we were supposed to do. We didn't know you could be like, no, sir. I was 19. I just moved out. They know nothing about the law back then.
And it
And
don't matter. You decided I want to be on the curb.
yeah, and then
Cause I ain't never told
this
a
is
motherfucker,
IP
yeah, you can search my car. I ain't
this is when
never said that
IPD was
shit.
beating and killing black men. This was the beginning in like
Bro,
2005.
don't say that, bro.
No, unalive black men. This was the era when they were
I
doing that.
ain't even saying about your verbiage. I'm saying I was thinking about this shit today. I ain't never really heard of no shit like that for Indiana, like
Nah,
you
not
might
in
hear
no. I
in
haven't heard it in
Just
California,
because you
New
didn't heard it
York.
don't mean it doesn't exist.
Nah, man.
Because way back in the 70s, 80s, there was a young man who
You
supposedly
wasn't
had
even there in the
listen
80s.
to me. No, back in the 80s, there was a young man by name like Marcus Brown, something, whatever, and he had supposedly had a gun and he was handcuffed behind his hands were handcuffed behind him, and he
And he supposed to
supposedly
try the
pulled the
stuff
gun
in
out.
the back seat. I know about that.
Yeah, this stuff is real. This stuff
But
just don't be
that
happening.
is not something that we see on a normal here in our city, man.
Man, you don't know.
I'm
IPD,
gonna give
before
it up.
IMPD
You
was
wanna be
beating black.
IMPD. You wanna be IMPD, so I'm not even gonna have this argument with you. But
No, I'm trying to tell you
our
all the
our police
atrocities.
department
What you
is
call 'em?
not as terrible as the shit that I have
There's
seen
two different
across
one.
the country.
IPD was beating people. There's IMPD was a separate new one versus the old one. I'm talking about the old one that they got rid of was crazy.
We don't have that problem like that on a large scale here. Now I'm not saying there are not bad elements, because they
Right.
are.
We're talking about the 80s and the
But
90s.
it
Like,
don't have. But you wasn't even driving in the 80s or the 90s.
Man, I used to hear stories. My cousins had to deal with that type of stuff.
Your
I didn't
cousins
believe
probably
none of
was
that shit.
selling dope and all that kind of shit and had
No,
bad
they weren't.
history
My
with the
cousins
police.
weren't selling dope. You can't associate that with all melanated people. You don't know my family like that. Stop
I'm
saying that
telling you
dope
that
shit.
we just don't have those kind of situations like that here. Not saying
We
that,
do have them situations. It's racist as fuck down there.
bro,
Just
we
because
have
you
not
don't, but what do you
made
call it?
national news.
Is.
We have not made national
You know
news.
why? Because they cover shit up. It's the
Come
good
on, bro.
old boy state. This ain't the good old boy state.
It's not.
It is. Everybody knows
Yeah.
it's a good old boy state. This is what it
Why
is.
you want to be IMPD then?
I don't want to be IMPD.
Then why did you used to want to be IMPD?
I didn't used to want to be IMPD. Never.
So what
Not
was you
that one.
trying? What were you training for police and all that, and settling for security jobs for?
Where's that one? There was another one. I was doing
What you
it
want to
because
be then?
I was doing it out of a legacy because I have a long legacy of law enforcement people in my family.
I know for what, sheriff department or what was it?
No, I wasn't sheriff department. It was something else.
Capitol police,
One of them. That was
state
one of them.
police. I mean, there ain't too many organizations, bro.
There's
Capitol
many. There's
police,
thousands.
state
There's
police,
hundreds of them. So anyway,
Capitol police,
moving.
state police, sheriff's department. You can't even count COs. I mean, you can if you want to, but
Correction officers are part of that community. You know that, right? They have
but
an
they are
academy.
not. They have no authority on the street.
But there's actually correction officer police officers too. Did you know that? And there's also
To
after a
do
while
what
you
on
can
the
become
street? To
and
do
yeah,
what on the street?
to make arrests for those people who have they're kind of like investigation and people connected to the prison, they really investigate so they can. And anybody who goes through the law enforcement academy has arresting powers. But do they do it? No, they usually just stay within their realm. But and there's also another division of parole. Now parole has the same thing as any other one, and they have jurisdiction of the state. So it just all depends on that. You know what I'm saying?
So did you
So
go
for
through the
you to say
academy?
that, huh? Yeah, they go to the police academy, the parole, yeah, they
Did
go
you
to the
go through
police
the
academy.
police academy?
The one that's worked for the prison, the parole goes to the Indiana police
Well,
academy.
did you go through the Indianapolis or Indiana Police Academy?
No, I haven't.
Okay, then. So not all COs have whatever power that you were just saying.
No, the one I'm trying to tell you which one through. No, I haven't went through that. I just got just the regular academy. But there's different academies you go for different jobs that you're trying to do. But it's funny how you always try to put me on Main Street and Main Block.
No, you started it.
I didn't start it.
I'm gonna
No,
follow
no,
the
no,
yellow.
no. I didn't start nothing.
I'm gonna
I was
follow the
talking
yellow brick
about the
road, my boy.
atrocities that were facing brown and black people in Indianapolis, in particular, about the system. And you wanted to bring people out on Front Street. And I'm
So
talking about
that is
situations that
not
happened
that is
in my
not how
life.
that
Yes,
that's
you
not how
did.
that
You didn't say
conversation
this
started.
then.
That
But
ain't how the
it was funny
conversation
how you
even
did it,
started.
though.
That's not how the conversation even started. Going back to the whole fact of you wanting to be the police.
But anytime I deal with people, it's always been fair and just. I
But
understand
the thought process is you want to be the police, but then at
to
the
make a
same time
change in the difference.
saying
Oh
the
yeah,
police
but the
are
difference
corrupt.
is that with me coming from my background and I know how that shit feels, I would actually give a person a chance. Versus these other motherfuckers want to lock somebody up for number sakes or just to feel good. That's the difference. Unless you really did something bad enough, give you a break for if it's not bad enough. I'm looking for the big shit, not the little shit. You
So
know,
let's say
that's
this.
just how
Let's
that
say
really
this.
comes.
Let's say you was deputized right now because you got CEO
Let's not play
credentials.
this game.
I
How
know,
about
but I just
this?
want to ask you a question though. And they tell you ICE and the federal government needs your help to help go after targeted individuals who are on the deportation list? Are you going to help the United States government, or are you going to go ahead and just quit your job?
I got to provide just like everybody else. If that's where I was, I would do that, but I would be fair and I would look at people's documentation.
There is no being, they on the list to get deported.
Yeah, but you still have to ask for identification no matter what. You always,
Okay, so when you
asking
find,
somebody,
okay, let's say this is the person you're looking for, Jesus Juarez, right?
Juarez, it's not Juarez. That's a white people way of saying it.
Well, it
It's
don't matter. You
Juarez.
know what I'm saying.
I'm trying to correct you. You got to say it
But then
right.
you find out that, damn, he got a family, but he's the only person on the deportation list. Are you going to quit your job, or is Mr. Warheads, or however the fuck you said it, is he going
Juarez.
back? Is he going back to Venezuela? Or are you quitting your job?
I ain't quitting my job. I got to provide. But there's more than one way that you can
So is
skin
he
that cat.
going back to Venezuela?
What if I don't hit that one? What if he's not home?
You are with a whole team of motherfuckers. You
What if
running
he's not
point.
home? What if he's not
What
home?
if he is home? His wife is there. She's a U.S. citizen. His kids is there. They are under the 14th Amendment, U.S. citizens. Is he going back to Venezuela, or are you gonna have a heart and just say, I can't help him get deported?
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how the individual acted when I talk to
So you going to prison for not doing your job?
him. There's officer discretion to the law.
There is not officer discretion when you're dealing with federal law.
Listen,
And the feds win.
there's always officer
Bro, you're going to
discretion.
federal prison.
Listen, Andre, even
Are you
though
going
you
to
sit up
federal
here,
prison?
listen.
Are you
How
going to
am I
federal
going to federal
prison, or
prison?
are you going to do your job?
There's officer to discretion to whatever
It's
the
not
situation is.
officer discretion dealing with the federal government.
Listen, there's always officer discretion, always, and there always will be.
So
Remember
you
that.
running point and you got a whole team behind you. You talking about officer discretion. I can see if they
Officer
sit you in there
discretion.
by yourself.
It wouldn't be just one person. There may be like 10 or 20 people that you're
Okay.
looking for.
So but either way it go, it's gonna be 10 to 20 people with you. How you gonna be able to say we're gonna let this one go?
I ain't gonna tell you all of that.
You can't. Ain't
Officer
nothing you can say.
discretion.
You going to federal.
That's like I said. There's
You
always officer
going to the
discretion
federal
on what you
penitentiary.
call it.
You gonna be in there right with the people that you guarding. They gonna be like, how you get in here?
See,
Well,
there you go.
I had a heart.
I ain't tell you all of that. There you go. See, Andre, you be trying to get caught up, but like I said, you can't catch me caught up on none of that crap.
No, I ain't
Well,
trying
what
to get
would
you
you
caught
do?
up.
What would you do seeing that? Would
They
you have
ass
a
is
heart?
going back to Haiti. They
Hold up. You
going
sounded
back to
staticky. I can't really
they
hear you sound staticky.
they
You sound
going back.
static.
Listen. They
I
going
can
back to
clear.
where they came from. If they from Haiti, they going back to Haiti. If they from St. Lucia, they going back to St. Lucia. Skin color don't mean nothing to me. Cause all skin folk are not kinfolk. That's just like you better not call a Puerto Rican what?
I'm Mexican.
I
I'm
can't
asking
hear you because
Carlton.
it keeps going in and out. Hold on, let me come back.
Well, you better not call him Mexican. You better not call him
You
Cuban.
better not call him nothing. You
No,
definitely better not call him Mexican.
man, they get mad.
That's like Alfred baby mama, Jackie. Man, Jackie, cuss your motherfucking ass out. You call her Mexican.
Man,
And I used to think that shit was so funny. But, that was just back in the day when you didn't know nothing about, the difference. Like, okay, y'all all speak
yeah,
Spanish.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I swear I didn't until I started working around a whole bunch of different Hispanic speaking people. Like I work with a guy now. He from Peru. You better not call his ass a damn Mexican.
And there ain't nothing wrong with being a Mexican. See what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. They just don't like to be called something that they're not.
But I think a Dominican Republic person wouldn't mind being called a Puerto Rican. But you better not call either one of them Mexican.
Yeah, yeah. Like old boy from Peru. He they get shitty if you call them a Mexican.
This is about pride from their country. That's it. It's a
Hell
pride.
nah.
We're
I don't
all
think
listen.
I
I
don't
I
think
hate to break it
I
down,
don't
but we
think
all are
I don't think
indigenous. We
Mexicans
all
will
have
be mad.
Spaniard, and we all
I
have
don't think
Native
I don't
ancestry.
hear Mexicans will be as upset to be called a Puerto Rican because you're not even gonna think a Mexican is a Puerto Rican
Yes,
Yeah,
you
or
do.
Mexicans
Some
Dominican.
of
don't look
them look
like
the
Puerto
same.
Rican. They don't
I
look
But
think
nothing
they
no.
alike.
I
all
think Puerto Ricans look like
but
Mexicans because
for
there's no
whatever
more
reason
No,
they
they
Mexicans
decide
don't.
to
want
Puerto
to be
Ricans do
called
Puerto
not
Rican.
look
Mexican.
like Mexicans. None of them.
Yes, they do. They
They
do.
No, no,
really
they
They
do
don't.
though.
really
No, they
do.
don't.
Because
You
that's
would
why.
never
Oh,
mix
dude.
a Puerto
Yes,
Rican. You
there's.
would never mix a Puerto Rican up with a Mexican. They do not look like
You
Mexicans.
can. A lot of times you can
Nah,
I
because
got
they
okay.
come
Puerto Rican
from
family.
that
None of my
Spaniard
family
and the
members and none of their
indigenous. You can
family
mix it
members look
up.
like
Now, if they
Mexicans.
got the
Nah.
African
No.
and the Taino
I've been in
mixture, you can.
Mexico and I've been in Puerto Rico, bro, and those people look totally different.
Even the people
I
at
Unless
the
think they
Dominican
look
unless
Republic,
you
similar.
look,
one of them
The
people who feel like
mestizos,
everybody look
the
alike.
Spanish Indian looks similar to the Spanish Indian over there. Now, if you got another mixture like African or black, that's what separates them
have you
to the
been there?
point where
Have you seen the
He ain't
original
never
people
been
from the
there.
islands?
He ain't
there
never
are
been
a
to
whole
Mexico
bunch
or
of
Puerto
there
Rico.
are a whole bunch of Puerto Ricans who practice and who speak Yoruba because they're descended of
Bro,
slaves. I
have you
just
ever
spoke
been
to.
to Puerto Rico was his question.
What part of Puerto Rico did you go? Did you go to
It don't matter. I got Puerto
no,
Rican
no, no. Did you
family.
go to the
No, it
Afro-Rican
don't
part
matter.
of
It don't matter.
Did you go to
No, it
okay,
don't
listen,
matter.
listen. Did you
I
go
got
to
Puerto
Loice?
Rican family, so it don't matter.
Have you
It don't
been to
matter.
Puerto
Are they from
Rico?
the Afro-Rican part of it? But are they
Mr.
from
Walker.
Loice? Are
Here
they
you
from
Mr.
go with
Walker.
Loice?
them damn
Because if they're
them
from
damn
Loice,
terms.
they would know about that.
Mr. Walker. The question
Here you
was,
go.
have you ever been to
Some
Puerto
shit.
Rico?
No, but I've been to Mexico and I saw dark people. I've seen light people. I've seen Puerto Ricans who favor Mexicans, so they get called that. Why do you think that one Puerto Rican guy got detained? Because they think that he is either Venezuelan or Mexican because he got that mestizo look.
He was
Mestizo
in the
means
wrong
Spanish
place at the
and
wrong
native
time.
mixed together.
He was in the
No,
wrong
it
place
was
at the wrong
no,
time. He wasn't
it
just
was
walking
because how
down the
he
street.
looked too.
He wasn't just walking down the street and they was like, oh, a Mexican. Because they would be swooping up.
No,
They would be
these
swooping up
ICE
everybody.
motherfuckers are racist. You know good and well
Bro.
these ICE people are racist
All
as
right,
hell.
so what about the Hispanic people that are ICE agents themselves?
They might have Listen, sometimes even them get to the point where they're tired of the bullshit,
Come
or they
on,
might
man.
have something against other Latin people for what not reason.
Come
I'm
on,
keeping it
man.
real. Like sometimes we might be like, fuck them Venezuelan, fuck them coño puñetas. Like sometimes we like that. And sometimes some of them are built in, they're more güero, they're more white, they're more cavacho. They didn't grow up in a home or they didn't have a connection to their roots like that. So they thinking more white. Some Hispanic people, Latino quote unquote, or Chicanos are more güero. They don't know. They just grow up and they're accepted by the whiteness and they act the same or whatever. They're brown on the outside, but white on the inside. And that's the truth.
So what are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 50. Soy Chicano Moreno. I'm black and Mexican American.
So what
And
are
I have
you on the
indigenous
inside
roots.
though?
So
Me?
are you white on the inside and black on the outside?
Are you just
That's
straight
what you
asshole?
said. I'm asking you. What are you?
Hey, that's what I was
Are you just
asking
straight
myself.
asshole? I'm
You said
telling
you
you
an
the
ass.
mindset of people who do those things that work for those teams. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give you their psychology,
Okay.
right? Of where they come from to do those type of things and what would do that in that situation. I'm trying to take care of me, myself, and I, and not I'm trying to support me and my people. It's more of me, myself, and I in my career, and forget everybody else. At the
So
end of
didn't
What
you
people
say
are you
earlier
trying to
that you got a
support?
job? You said you got a job to do, right?
yeah,
So you're gonna do your job no matter who you gotta lock up, right?
depends on the
Or
situation.
you gonna smuggle some dope into the prison for somebody who's Chicano and black.
Why would I smuggle anything when I could
You
I
do
say
know,
that?
you
but
gonna
you said
support people.
different strokes
Listen,
depending
there's
on
so
how
much.
they are
Hey,
case by
as
case.
law enforcement, period, there is a thing called overtime. You got to grind really hard. You got to be there like every day, 16 hours a day, and then give up. Okay, you can grind it out. You don't have to sell dope if you don't want to. You don't have to split stupid money. You're gonna either get found out, or it's gonna be, or you get killed in the process. It's not worth
It ain't
it. You can
about getting
sit
found
down.
out. It's about doing one for your people. Now you said you're gonna
It's
let
not.
the
But what I'm trying to say,
if
doing
the
one for
person
your
was on the
people
hit
at the
list,
same time is on the
if the
same time
person was
is
on the
telling.
deportation list, you said you was gonna let him go
I didn't
based
say what I
on.
said. Officer discretion, and Venezuelan ain't my people. And by far, they have no indigenous rights on this side as far as their people don't
So,
go back
so
to the
why are
land.
you tripping about people getting deported if the motherfuckers getting deported ain't your people then?
As far as Venezuelans, I don't care. But all I'm saying,
Venezuelans,
speaking,
Hondurans, anybody,
I don't care
Guatemalans.
about them. That's them. That's
So
they
what the
fight.
fuck is your problem about deportation when the majority of the people are being deported to other countries in South America?
They're
More
not
than Mexico at this point in time.
what you say, or to
More than
Mexico. Hey,
Mexico at this point in time. People been sent to other countries way more than Mexico at this particular time. So what is your problem with what's going on with deportation if they're not your people that's getting deported?
I'm talking about indigenous people from Arizona. Fool.
They not getting deported to Arizona though. You can't
No,
get deported to Arizona.
I was saying they're being harassed and being stopped and targeted, and eventually it's going to get
But
to
they're
us.
not being deported. And the issue is deportation of immigrants, illegal
No, but
immigrants,
then being swept up
illegal
and betrayed.
aliens, not illegal immigrants, illegal aliens.
If they're
Aliens,
the immigrant, they ain't
aliens.
illegal.
Man, my biggest thing was to stop. I don't like to be stopped
Nobody
at all,
does.
and it's trickling to us eventually. Haitians, they
So
are taking
But
Haitians
then
too.
you authority, you the police, you got some type of IDs and
And then
everything.
you
So
don't think that
so
I
so
use
so when
officer
if you
discretion?
stop somebody, you wouldn't think they feel the same way. Like this motherfucker not stop me. What the hell he want? You don't think that's thinking the same way you thinking? You don't like to be stopped,
No,
but you
because I
still got to do your job though, right? But as long
my
as you got
job, bro.
the
Like it
right
depends on the
paperwork,
individual.
as long as you got the
Mine's a
right
little
paperwork, you
different.
should be fine with it.
Listen, I don't like to be stopped at all, and that's why I pop my card out, so I
But
don't
as
have to
long
deal
as you
with that shit.
exactly, as long as you got the paperwork, you good. You got your ID
Right.
and
so
everything.
then
You
here's
ain't gonna
But
worry about
here's
it.
a
they, it's,
here's a
man. But
here's
how
a
long is
here's a
me? That whole
here's a
thing is
funny
why
thing.
even mess up my
Here's a
day.
funny thing about popping out your card if you get pulled over or something. If you pop that shit out on the wrong police officer, you're going to jail for popping that shit out. Why?
No, you're not.
Because yes, you are.
No,
Because
you're
other
not.
people, police officers get locked up for that all the time.
No, they don't. I don't know what world you in.
Bro, I was just watching a story on True Law Crime where the chick popped out her show flashed her badge to get peripheral, I can't even say the word right now. Preferable treatment. He gone. but the chick popped out her badge and she got a charge for that. Not only did she get a charge for whether it was a DUI or whatever the fuck it was, she got a DUI by trying to influence the police officer on a traffic stop by showing her badge. And she was
Okay,
trying
okay.
to
Let me explain something.
she was arguing the fact that I wasn't trying to show him my badge. I was just flipping through my wallet and it just so happened to show.
What state was this in?
It don't matter what state it's in. It's
It
illegal to
does. What I'm trying to
it's
say is that
illegal to
within,
do it.
listen, as long as you're not doing something real fucked up, they're gonna see it.
Bro,
Okay,
it's
take care.
illegal to try to flash your badge to get preferred treatment by an officer.
Listen here, man. What I'm
That's
trying to
a
tell you
charge.
is
If a motherfucking police
it's not
officer
a
let you get,
charge,
if
Andre.
they
It's
let you
called
get away
officer
with it,
discretion.
if they
And what
let you
I'm
get,
trying to tell
if
you
one
is that
officer lets you
when you
get
call
away with it, then consider yourself lucky. But another officer might charge you with it.
man, nobody's gonna charge you with nothing,
Okay.
Andre.
You
What I'm
think
trying to tell you
you
is that
think
you
you think
don't
I'm
know the
making you
law.
think I'm
You
making
think
up
that
shit.
you know it. It may have been illegal in that state because
That
maybe
shit is
she was
illegal
petty.
in all states. You cannot flash a badge to say "Let me go"
You don't
because
do
I
that.
am a
You
form
don't
of
know.
law
I don't say,
enforcement.
let me go. See, there you go again. You don't know the law. You need to stay in whatever lane
Bro,
that you're in. That's not how you
I'm
do it.
not
And I'm
saying
not
you
going to tell
say it.
you how you
I'm
do
not
it.
saying you say it out your mouth. But if you
Man, what
flash
I'm
your
trying to tell
badge
you is
and your
this,
intention is to use
what
your
you
position as a law
call it?
officer to get out of a traffic stop, you can be charged with a crime and taken to jail.
Whatever. That shit don't, maybe for that officer, because that officer was being petty.
Well,
Maybe
remember that rental
her
car that I
attitude
told
is
you
what you
about?
call it.
Remember that rental car I told you about you didn't want to listen to?
Hey, Andre, remember that time when yeah.
That Bandcamp. That Bandcamp.
Right. Andre, you
I
always
don't never
trying, man. Like, no, man. I'm getting
I
sick
don't
of you
never
always
just
trying to like
I don't
front
never
people
just
out on
make
Front
shit up.
Street. Like,
I don't
seriously,
never
no.
I don't just make shit
You
up.
always trying to front people out on Front Street to make it seem like you're better than motherfuckers and you're smarter than motherfuckers. And you ain't. You just see something on TV. This shit's been working for a while, Andre.
So
Man, so
let
you
me
know what?
let me
We were in
clarify this real quick.
training. When we
I ain't
were in
never
training,
I
that's
ain't
what
never
they
tried to
told us
say
it
that
worked.
I'm
Oh,
smarter
yeah,
than
that's how
somebody.
you be coming off of. You
But
do.
if
And
I
you be
know
trying to make
something,
it seem like we just
if I
so
know
beneath you and
something
you
that
know
you do
everything.
not
You don't
know,
know shit at how the game works out here.
if
Because if
I
you
know
did,
something
you
that
would
you
use
do
it.
not, okay, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something.
Man, you can
I'm gonna let
show
you
me
talk,
whatever. I'm
and
telling you
I'm gonna
what the
pull it
fuck
up.
is works
Go
or
ahead,
whatever, man. For
go
real,
ahead,
no,
do
because
your
I get
thing,
tired of that shit. Every
talk
time we get
all
on
your
here,
shit,
you
and I'll be
all the
right
time
back.
sit up here trying to make it seem like you're
I'll
so
be
much better
right
than
back.
me, and you ain't, motherfucker. Fuck you.
You niggas is funny.
And he ain't coming back on the show either. But hold on, I'm about to look this shit up real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, Lady T, how you doing today? Lady T.
So I don't know if you can hear me. Can I still be heard?
I can hear you. Yeah.
What happened?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I hear you. I was asking you, Lady C, how you doing today?
It says intentionally using your badge to influence. Hold on, because I can't read it while I'm on the phone because it was yeah my microphone cuts off or something. It said using your badge to influence another officer when it comes to trying to get out of something is considered improper conduct and a violation of department policies. So just to sit back and try to argue on some silly shit, like, bro, I've seen the shit. I've seen the stories. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers getting locked up and or losing their job because they're flashing their badge to be like, yeah, I'm a law enforcement person, so let me go. It may work for that one police officer. That's because you got the okay one. You get mad because you saying flashing your badge get you out of trouble, or you get mad because I say you call IMPD corrupt, law enforcement corrupt, but then same time you want to be one of them. Like the fuck, like where you at? Which you gotta pick a side here. Or if I say they are not targeting Native Americans, and you trying to argue that they are, but then you ain't got no proof that they are targeting Native American people specifically when it comes to deportation because they let them go. Like, what's your argument? You're mad because it's not an argument on who's smarter or who's not. I just know more about this topic than you do because I've studied more. So if I have studied more on a particular topic, then yes, that might make me smarter than you when it comes to that.
Hmm.
Do I know everything there is to know about Marcus Garvey? No. Somebody could mop the floor with me on a Marcus Garvey conversation. But I do know some things about Marcus Garvey where I could mop the floor with somebody else about it. So that would possibly make me more smarter in that conversation than somebody else would be if they knew nothing.
Yeah.
And I say that because Donald Trump Joe Biden just pardoned uh, Marcus Garvey. And this is like a damn near 100 years later type shit.
Hmm.
Who was Marcus Garvey? What was Marcus Garvey's mission? He tried to get black people to move back to Africa. He never went to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Ever.
Wow.
His ass was deported from America, kicked out, and he still never went to Africa.
Hmm.
And he was chums with the motherfucker Walter Plecker who said that ain't nobody Indians anymore. You either black or you white. You Negro or you white. You colored or you white. No more Indians. And so most people was reclassified as black people or colors or whatever you want to say under Walter Plecker. And who the fuck helped Marcus Garvey out? Walter Plecker. You know what I'm saying? So there was some type of plan going on there. But I don't know everything there is to know about Marcus Garvey. But if I get into a conversation and we having a conversation about it, you can't get mad if I know more about it than you do. Just like that whole resurrection thing. Or him talking about, oh, the apostles themselves wrote those books. When it's documented that those books was written way after way after they died. Come on, man. Ain't nobody sitting up here trying to say I'm smarter. But if I do happen to know a little bit more, and I tell you some shit that's true, like you can't flash your badge to an officer expecting to get out of trouble without getting yourself into some trouble. Or just like if I tell you, hey, bro, if you do not return this motherfucking rental car and you just keep on driving this motherfucker and you supposed to turn that shit in 2 weeks ago, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
gone.
going to jail because they're going to report it stolen.
They're going to
Nah,
report
they
it
ain't.
stolen. And then if you signed the papers of we was supposed to bring her back at a certain time, shit, you can get sued too.
Exactly. But first, you're going to jail. And you're going to have to pay for the time that you had the car. You wasn't supposed to have the car. But
Mhm.
the police going to pull your ass over. So, yeah, he got mad because I mentioned the rental car, but the whole story wasn't there. Well, that's the whole story since he said, fuck me and fuck whatever. That's the whole story. Nigga, you riding around in the fucking stolen rental. And I'm telling you, you can't do that. But you telling me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about until they pull your ass over.
Mm.
Now it's, oh, you was right. I know I'm right. How do I know I'm right? Not because I know all the laws. I know because I had just seen some shit like this played the fuck out and motherfucker got locked the fuck up. But with all that shit being said, at 10:29, Lady T, if you hear now, I had some people that were supposed to come in, but they didn't show up for whatever reason. But I'm guessing we're gonna create a new chat tonight.
You gonna change the subject or the what are you saying?
The chat, the text message chat.
So the text message.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
So at this point, it's just gonna be us three. And like, cause I don't give a fuck, man. I do not give a fuck.
Go ahead and end the live so we can talk about what's because I don't even know what's
And
going
talk
on.
about, I'm gonna hop the fuck on up off here. I gotta get ready for the sales rally in the morning. But
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what's up. Truth be told, we out.
Just be told.